What's up, Summoners War players? Free-to-play gaming here again. What I got going on tonight is it's a late night for me, kind of a crazy hectic day, but I can't sleep. So I'm gonna help some people out in channel 5001 here. This is the free-to-play gaming channel. We started this, probably about a month ago now, and lots of people are hanging out here, really helping out everybody. I don't have time to help everybody. I've gotten so many requests. Please take a look at my monsters. Can you take a look at my runes? This and that, and I'd love to help everybody, but I don't have time for that. I'm trying to balance two games with work and my home life right now. I wish I could. So I'm gonna try to jump into channel 5001, and I asked who would like to have their monsters looked at by me. So we're getting a lot of people here. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna just randomly pick them. So I'm gonna put their names into this random thing generator here, and I'll show this in a second. And we're going to pick one person to analyze their monsters. This is the most fair way to do this, I think. Fast. Okay. So I got Mantra, Delta, Tiger. We got Stab. Stab. That's a good name. I like that. Who else we got? Okay, we got Kill, Darien. We got, okay, let's go down here a little bit. I already did a video for Kibler. I find Summoner's War better. I agree too, Tiger. Summoner's War is more refined. It's been out longer. In general, I'm enjoying it more than Alune Saga right now. Okay. Alright, so it looks like we got, at 2 in the morning, there's 5 people that are interested right now, so, okay. Random thing picker. I got the names of the people here to be picked from, and we're gonna pick one. Who's the lucky winner? Kildarian. Okay. And let's see, maybe we'll be able to do 2 of them in this video, so let's pick another one. Kildarian and Tiger. Tiger, you'll be second if we have time. Okay, so this is how I'm gonna manage these types of videos. People seem to like these. They don't get quite as many views as my guide videos and farming videos, but that's okay. You know, this channel is about you guys. I want to get a real good subscriber base first, and then maybe work on some more farming videos, things like that. So these videos I think help people in general, especially for the new players, know what some of the good monsters are. It helps me a lot too, so I enjoy doing these videos. So where's Kildarian here? So if you're in channel 5001, you can always just select any of these players, and you can view their arena defense team as it currently stands. So they got the leader Shimati here, speed leader, that's awesome, Meaghan. They got the Water Pierre, real good character with freezes, and Jojo. So this player Kildarian's definitely got some good monsters here just to start with. This looks pretty solid. I don't know much about defense teams, so I try not to give advice on them because my defense team, I've never really worked on one because I like to just have the one monster so that it helps me get more glory points so that I'm not always at the very top of fighting the hardest people possible. My rank will go down if I just have one monster. So I don't really give defense tips. I don't know if I should be giving tips at all. There's a lot of people with a lot more monster knowledge than me in this game. So if I'm not on, which I'm not very often, and you don't get picked for a random number generator, don't feel bad. There's a lot of people in here giving better advice than I will probably give you. So I really appreciate that. Everybody who's given advice in channel 5001, thank you guys. I'm learning from you as well. So looks like you've been doing a lot of Faimon volcano farming. Look at all the hellhounds he's got right here. That's kind of cool. Alright, let's take a look at the monsters here. I forget how to say the name already. What is it? Kildarian. Okay. Alright. So wow, you got 3 really strong 6-star monsters. This is cool. Okay, so you got Julie here, the water Pierre. And I don't have one. I've just been told they're very good. So let's take a look at the skills and maybe I'll learn a little bit more about this monster. Inflict damage to all enemies. Yep, that's an AoE attack. Right off the bat, I'm thinking maybe this is a good monster for some Despair Blade runes to get that extra stun. So attacks with a magic card, freezes the enemy, so this is a good freeze attack. Looks like you've already done some skill ups, probably fed some Devilmon to this monster. This is awesome. You got lucky here. Your AoE attacks all the way max skilled. Got real lucky. Looks like you only fed 4 Devilmon and you got some of the best skill ups you could have. So congrats on that. Attacks by throwing 2 cards. Okay, this is the General Pierre attack here. So yeah, good monster here. Let's see what you got for runes. You got Fatal Blade, it looks like. Plus 15 5-star, okay. So that's only attack plus 43. I don't generally recommend going for the plus 15, but if you have the extra mana stones, why not, right? I only go with the plus 15 on 6 stars normally. But hey, that's a good choice. That's awesome. Plus 12 on a 4-star attack rune. Good stuff, good stuff. Got a little extra speed here. Look at this. Plus 63 compared to plus 43. So 20% difference going from a 6-star to a 5-star. That's huge. This is a very strong monster. A lot of attack. Nothing I can suggest here, This is your attack monster doing huge damage. For somebody starting out on an arena offense team, maybe Despair Blade would be a good choice because you get that 25% extra stun if you went with Despair instead of Fatal. But nothing wrong with Fatal there, in my opinion. Got a Fatal Focus, looks like. And I ran into my first JoJo a couple weeks ago as far as what runes are good for him, and this is generally a very highly recommended rune set, Fatal Blade. So you got attack percent, attack percent, attack percent. Not sure if this should be attack percent or accuracy, but I think attack percent is just as viable as accuracy. I don't see any problem here. Again, really good stuff. Looks like you got this plus 15. I'm sure this cost you a lot of money, but if you had a plus 15 5-star compared to a plus 15 4-star, I think the difference is only 1 or 2%. It's only 1% actually. So you can, the plus 15, 6, so it's not really worth it in my opinion to go with these 5-star plus 15s. But hey, it makes your monster better, and if you don't have any 6-star runes, which are very difficult to get, I'm not going to say don't do it. Alright, what do we got here? Shimati, 6-star attack percent rune. Definitely work on this. Get this sucker up to plus 15. I would spend my mana stones on this first. You got Despair Blade for the stuns. That's great. Got a speed rune here. That's interesting. This is a speed monster. The main reason for using this monster is to give your arena offense team the edge. So you get I have the same monster, it gives you the speed. That doesn't mean that you want this character to necessarily attack first. But in your case, you probably do want her to go second because she's got these stuns. But it doesn't really matter. You're going to hope to get... I'm assuming this is going to be your 4-star offense team. I could be wrong, but this would be a very solid 4-person offense team with your Meaghan and your 3 6-stars here. So it doesn't matter that your Shimati goes first. It just matters that it attacks before the other monsters get to. And your Meaghan, with her 3rd skill, is pretty much going to guarantee that. So I would probably switch this rune out if you have another Despair rune with an attack percent rune. That's what I would do. But a speed, that's not a bad thing either. It doesn't really matter when you get the stun as long as your monsters get to go before the other monsters. So this might be a little bit of a wasted rune here, especially since how it doesn't have any really good stats here. You only have 3% on resistance, 2% on crit damage, and this is a plus 9. That's pretty much wasted. If this was a percent substat, it would be better, of course. So if you got a better Despair rune, if you got an attack percent Despair rune for this, I would put that here. And I would definitely throw some more money into this, your 6-star attack percent rune. And this is interesting too. It's plus 15, so that's probably why you're using it, and it's attack percent rune. But you might want to go with accuracy on your Shemite here because of the stuns and because of the other AoE 40% chance here. If you go with accuracy, so I would probably swap these out. I would go accuracy here and attack here if you can. I know runes are limited, so you do what you can with what you have to work with. But that's one thing I'm noticing here. So okay, you got an attack rune here. Especially now that giants keep got the buff, it's harder to get these despair runes that we're all looking for. And I got a train going by, you guys probably hear that. Alright, cool. Let's take a look at your Meaghan. Number 1 rune I always look at. Awesome. Speed. You got lots of speed here. This is a 6-star rune. I would dump money into this as well right after you finish this one. I'd make this plus 15. You're going to have an awesome team here. Especially once this goes plus 15. Nobody's going to beat your Meaghan off. She's going to be the fastest sprinter you can possibly have. You got your swift focus, that's good. 6-star plus 15, that bad boy. That'll be awesome. You got accuracy, good. Hit points, that's good. It's exactly what you want. These are plus 9s. So seeing as how you have some plus 9, plus 10 runes in areas like this, that's why I wouldn't have recommended you go with plus 15 for 5-star attack runes. But live and learn, you got it to plus 15 now and it's better than it was before. Probably cost you quite a bit of money to do this because you've done this in a couple places. So that's you got a good team here. Keep it up. Keep leveling those runes and maybe make a couple switches for your Shemite here. Those are the only suggestions I really have for you. Let's just take a real quick look at some of your other monsters. Hua, I don't even know what runes I should go with on my Hua. I know this is probably exactly what I'm going to go with. Swift focus here. I think this is real solid. You got accuracy, attack percent. Real solid. I wish I had these runes on my Hua right now. Got your Fire Phantom Thief. You're probably just waiting to find a good chance to use him, kinda the same way I was. I accidentally fed my Fire Phantom Thief to my Wind Phantom Thief. What else you got here? So you probably removed a lot of runes during rune removal day there. I suggested doing that, and then we can always add runes later. I don't know exactly what are some good runes for these characters. Never really used this guy, but let's take a look at him. Maybe we can learn a little tip from Kona Mia monster here. Swift and energy runes here. Speed, so you definitely want speed. And the reason for using this natural 2-star monster has got to be one of his skills. Gives a good benefit. So removes all harmful effects on allies and recovers hit points. So in dungeons, I got a feeling this is a very good monster, especially at 5-star with swift runes. Let's see what's the cooldown on this. So you got max skill, that's awesome, reusable in 3 turns. So this is reusable just about every turn, so it keeps harmful effects off of all our allies in dungeons. I might need to work on one of these guys. This is one of those utility monsters. So I'm learning from you more than you're learning from me now. Water Phoenix, that's awesome. What do you got here? Rage runes for crit damage. And then we got a blade rune here just kind of hanging out because it's a 6-star, it looks like, and a fatal. Yep, got a couple 6-stars here, so nothing wrong with that. You got a 6-star crit damage. Wow. Yeah, I bet this Phoenix hits like a freight train here. Attack percent, and you got huge crit damage. Attacks all enemies with an exploding ice volcano, inflicting damage based on their hit points. Okay. Attacks with extreme chill and freezes the enemy for 1 turn if you get a critical hit. So that's the reason for crit hits, I assume. And let's just take a quick look here. Crit damage is huge on this. Pretty good crit rate. Okay, I'm going to move on. This is congratulations on that 5-star monster. That's going to be a good one. We just need to figure out how to work it into your team here. And you got a lot of good monsters here, I'm seeing. You got Julian sitting on your sidelines probably. You got Wind Ninja. You got Beretta here. Another good speed leader. Not quite as good for your arena team. That's why you went with the 6-star there. Now you're doing a real good job, so keep it up here. You got a lot of really cool monsters. Look at this rare one here, Fami. You've definitely been playing for quite a while to get your monsters this good. Attack percent, crit rate. This Fami's interesting. What is attacks with a powerful magic arrow with 60% chance? Stun or decrease the enemy's defense. Okay, I'm going to move on. We're going to go take a look at Tiger real quick. You're doing everything right. You know, all I can suggest is we got the Hall of Heroes event going on this weekend, so get some skill ups for this character. This is going to be real good support for dungeons as well. So, heck, you got better monsters than me. Way to go. Good job. Except for those few little things. Alright, let's go get to Tiger here. Let's take a quick look at her defense team. This doesn't really mean much to me though. But Tiger's definitely got some good characters going on here. She was lucky enough to pull an occult girl, water occult girl here. So pretty solid here, this looks like to me. Got a speed leader, you got Meaghan. Alright, let's take a closer look here. Level 37. So she's definitely going to need some rune improvement probably, being only level 37. Alright, what do we do here? Visit. So thanks for tuning in, guys. You guys are, the community's getting kind of out of control. I barely have time to reply to all the comments, and I'm sure I'm missing some. Just the way that YouTube sorts the comments is, I know I'm going to miss some people's comments, and don't take that as a slight or anything. I'm not trying to ignore anybody's comments. I'm just a bit overwhelmed at the moment. So congratulations, first of all, Tiger, on your occult girl here. Let's take a quick look at her. I don't know the recommended rune set for her, but we'll take a quick guess here. You got attack, and you got energy and fatal. So it looks like you got good percent runes here. 3 stars are way cheaper to get to plus 12 than 4 stars or 5 stars, so I do recommend that. And 4 stars, you might not a big deal to use those as well. They're also really good. So, yep, you can definitely get those to plus 12 when you have the opportunity with the money. And these occult girls, they got AoE attacks here, so attacks all enemies proportionate to your max hit points. So that's why it makes sense for this occult girl to have these energy runes. So that looks good to me. I didn't realize this was proportionate to your hit points. Each attack has a 30% chance to decrease their defense for 3 turns. Okay, so, you know, if you wanted to get this better, if you wanted to have this more accurate, you could add accuracy to your 6th slot. But I'm not seeing a huge reason to do that. Looks like you fed a couple Devilmon to it. That's excellent. Remove the harmful effects on allies and recovers their hit points. Great healer here as well. This is huge. I wish I had one. I'm jealous now. Okay, so it looks like you did a couple more skill ups to get your single target attack. 20% chance to forcibly put the enemy to sleep for 1 turn. Acquires another turn if the enemy falls asleep. So she's kind of like Rauk when she might get to attack 2 or 3 times depending on if these sleeps hit. So she's kind of a wild card when you're using her. She can be super lucky and super good, but she's super good anyways. That's a good character. I would think about making this your first 6-star without even looking at the rest of your monsters, just because I like the occult girls so much. Okay, let's take a look at Rena, the dreaded Rena. I don't even use mine because I just don't like her. But let's take a look at what you got here. You got all energy runes, that's perfect. Hit point, hit point, hit point. Yep, you're doing everything right with your Rena, but I don't like them. I'm just not a huge fan. No suggestions here. She's a good monster. She just doesn't do much damage, and it's just not my style. So Meaghan, let's make sure you're doing everything right here. She's super important. Okay, so you got Swift, but you don't have Focus, but you know, that's probably okay. Energy's a good substitute for Focus. Okay, you got a 3-star speed rune. I definitely recommend a 4, 5, or 6 speed rune. So I would probably do everything you can to get at least a 5-star speed rune here on your Meaghan. That's going to be very important. And the reason behind recommending a 5-star here, I just said I recommend 3 stars, but that's when it's a percent rune. So when it's a plus rune, you get a lot more benefit from the 4 and 5 stars. So go with a 5-star here. That's going to really improve your Meaghan here. You're definitely going to want to have at least a 5-star. If you have anything in a 6-star speed rune, that's going to be even better. Especially seeing as how this energy is not as important for you right now and you don't have focus anyways. Even if this is like a violent or something that's just totally off the wall, or a blade plus a 6-star speed rune, use that here. These don't have to match. You don't need this 2-set bonus. What you do need is as much speed as possible. So that would be the first thing I focus on. Attack percent, this should probably be accuracy. Yeah, your Meaghan's not going to do much damage anyway, so attack percent's kind of wasted here. I would go for accuracy. And here this should be hit points. So you got that right. That looks good. And Swift, you know, that's right too. So definitely you want a Swift set, and you definitely want a speed rune, a higher star speed rune here. That's the most important, and then I would probably go with accuracy here instead of attack. Okay, I don't know much about this water nine-tail fox, but oh, look at this, you got another 5-star here. You're pretty lucky there, Tiger. That's awesome. You got 3 5-stars actually. Who knows, maybe you have another one. No, it looks like you got 3 of them. Water Dragonite, I don't know much about him. Don't know much about this girl either, but we'll take a quick look. You got Fatal Energy, attack percent, attack percent, attack percent. So let's take a look here. Okay, you're doing quite a bit of damage with your 9-tail fox here. Anything over 1,000's, you know, pretty decent. Inflicts damage to all enemies, so we got AoE here. Removes beneficial effects on all enemies. That's right. The cleanse. That's very powerful. Throws soul beads at enemy to deal damage and recovers the same amount of the inflicted damage as hit points. Okay, so it's kind of like a vampire. And what I might recommend, depending on how you're using this character, is possibly this could be one of your stunning monsters. With her third skill here, you're attacking all enemies and removing their beneficial effects. So you might want to go with low speed on this monster and have her go last. Well, that doesn't really work. I would definitely consider a Despair focus set for this monster, or Despair energy set. Just because you probably want to have some monster that's going to do some stuns for you. And I need to stop recommending Despair as much as I do in my videos, because it's a lot more difficult to get Despair runes now the Giants has been buffed. But still, they're very... I see them all the time in the magic shop, so purchase the good ones when you see them in the magic shop. And I don't think it'll be too difficult. You can get 6-star runes from Giants Keep B6 now. So I'm going to have to do an update video and kind of explain how to farm at least B6, so that we can start getting some of these better runes, because that's what's going to help us as players the most. Runes are super important. Okay, Dragonite. Let's learn about this guy, because I know nothing about him. What do you got here? You got Violent runes, so get an extra turn, and you got Energy with the hit point percent increase. So okay, let's take a look at his skills. So I don't know, maybe you're using this character on a defense team with all your other water characters. You're very heavy into the water. So this could be a possible build for a dungeon. If you throw him as lead, then you got your occult girl doing good damage. Nobody's going to mess and beat up your Rena. Hopefully you can get some monsters to focus on her if she was on your team. Meaghan's going to throw attack and defense buffs up in a dungeon, and this is another good damaged monster. So I would think about you trying this out in dungeon battles. It's going to be a little bit of a slow team for auto battles, but it should be very tanky, a very tanky team, because he's got 50% defense to all water attributes, and you have a lot of good water attribute monsters. You're probably already taking advantage of this in some shape or form. So gains immunity against unrecoverable effects. Additionally, so what does that mean? I don't know what this passive even does. What is an unrecoverable effect? Is that maybe a stun? I don't know. Additionally, you recover 15% hit points when your turn ends, so he's constantly healing himself. Just like Rena, he's going to be almost impossible to kill, especially when they're together. Whew, that's going to be a defensive team right there. So I just said I don't give defensive advice, but I would really consider using him as a lead with Rena, Meaghan probably, definitely Meaghan, especially if you have a 6-star speed rune on her plus 15 and she gets to go first. Ooh, it's going to be, she's going to throw a defensive buff on as well. And you're a cult girl. It's just going to be quite the formidable defensive team you could build right here. I'd be excited about these monsters if I were you. The damage of this attack increases as your hit points drops. If hit points is below 30, the defense is ignored. So same as my Dragon Knight. I have the wind one, but I like this one more, I believe. Continuous damage for 2 turns if you land a critical hit. Okay, so the main power of this monster is in his leader skill and just the passive where he's recovering hit points. Pretty awesome. As far as runes go, after seeing what I saw, I think you're doing everything right here. You get this extra turn, which is making him that much more difficult to kill, because every time his turn ends, he's recovering hit points. So I think you're doing things just perfect here. Hit points, hit points. He's going to be hard to kill, especially when you get these runes a little bit more leveled up. Awesome. That's exciting to see your team. I'm looking forward to seeing you grow in this game. Okay, so you got violent, endure, resistance. Okay. So this is definitely a recommended rune set for Rauk. I don't have this rune set, but very good. You get the extra turns, and he's already getting extra turns. And resistance, from everything I hear, is this is very important for endgame arena. You're blocking stuns. This Rauk's like a wild card anyways, and you never know if he's going to one-shot a monster. So I think you're doing things just perfect here. Attack, attack, attack. You got plus 12. All I can say is keep farming Phaimon Volcano, get some more mana stones, and level up some of these runes. You're only level 37, and for level 37 you have some awesome monsters here. Very cool. So Wind Pierrot here. What do you got on this? Fatal Blade. Okay. This isn't attack percent, but I got a feeling you're not using this monster as much as you used to. So you definitely probably want to put attack percent on these. Oh, look at this. You got a 6-star attack percent rune here. And rune removal day is over now, which stinks. But this is a waste on this character because you don't have attack percent runes here, but you do here. I would take this rune and I would put it on probably you're a cult girl right here. Definitely you're a cult girl. This belongs to her. She needs it. She needs that 6-star rune. So it's a shame rune removal day's over, but it would only cost you 50,000 stones. I would probably make that change, even though it's costing a little bit of money. Beretta here, awesome for dungeons. It would be an awesome dungeon leader, but I don't think I'm going to go too much farther into your team, just because from what I've seen, I would work on the suggestions I already gave you. You have a lot to work with here. Fantastic team. You got this 5-star water beast monk. Boy, he could really go on your defensive team too. I wouldn't hesitate to put him with your Dragon Knight. He's very difficult to kill. He's a tank as well, and he does healing. Let's take a look at his skills real quick. Spell of Power decreases the attack speed for 2 turns. Increases as your max hit points increases, so his power gets stronger as you have more hit points. Decreases the inflicted damage to 0 for 3 turns when your ally is attacked and receives 50% of the original damage. So he can take away the damage that's going to another monster. So if you threw him on this team, he would probably take away damage from, say, if your Cult Girl was getting beat up, or boy, you could make a heck of a defensive team that people just would not be able to break through with him, your Dragon Knight, Rena, and Meaghan, maybe. I don't know, you got a lot of different choices you could go with for a team here. Looks like you're working on a Bear Man. That's going to be awesome for your dungeons. Chloe can be a very awesome 6-star character. I want to point something out. I got wasted in Arena by a team that had a super fast Chloe. So let's take a look at your skills here. You got a speed rune here, but again, it's a 3-star. Speed benefits from 4 and 5-star quite a bit. But if you guys have a Chloe out there and you're not sure what monster you want to work on, I would definitely consider making a 6-star super high speed Chloe. If that Chloe gets to throw up invincibility first, most teams have no recourse to take care of that. So it can be very powerful. So Meaghan on the side to increase speed as well, but Chloe, if you can get her to go first and cast that invincibility, you might not even need a Meaghan. But it would take Swift runes, and it would take a 6-star high speed rune, and probably level 6. Well, I don't think speed goes up when you go to a 5-star to 6-star, but so you might not even need a 6-star Chloe. Maybe a 5-star would work just as good. But I'm kind of getting to my rambling point of the videos here. Holy cow, it's been 30 minutes and I only looked at 2 people's teams. But hopefully there was some good advice in there, and hopefully other people can learn from the monsters we reviewed today. And both people here, Tiger and Kildarian, congratulations, you have very good teams, and it was very exciting seeing some of your monsters. Very good stuff here. So you have a lot to work with, both of you. I'm sure you're making a lot of the other viewers jealous seeing some of your monsters. So Free to Play Gaming signing out. Join us in channel 5001, and thank you everybody in 5001 who's helping out. We're making an awesome community here, and if we ever get an increased guild size and they put guild battles into this game, we are going to be in a position to just own it. We'll probably have multiple guilds in our top ranking guild. If this ever happens, I'm thinking we can just be amazing, helping each other out all the time. I'm super excited. Summoner's War, I get excited about these Summoner's War videos. I just did a video on a Loon Saga, and I was kind of a Debbie Downer. I was just not real excited about it. And these Summoner's War videos I get real excited about. I think the game's on a good path forward. I like the changes they've done, and I love the community that's here. So take care, guys. Free to Play Gaming signing out.